Thank you, and thank you for being here, and for the organizers, and for all those who are taking time out of your, family weekend and this long last weekend that we have honoring labor. So thank you for spending this night with us for a little while and to talk a little bit about equality. And I want to especially thank the Secretary of State, Jennifer Brunner, for being here and for her kind words and her support. She was immediately out in front, commenting in the media and being bold as she always has been. I also want to thank all the folks who've been involved in the legislature, and my friend Marion Harris, who's here, who's an active, not just a co-sponsor, but an active sponsor. When people said, she had a tough race, you had to talk her out of being on that, she might. And I said, oh yeah, you try doing that. I said, she's pretty feisty. And she's when someone did try to talk, she goes, can I slug him? Can I slug him? And I said, I'll hold your coat. Thank you. And to everybody, this has been an issue long before I got in the Ohio House. I was working, I'm one of the few that's been an aide both in the House and the Senate, and I worked with my friend, former state representative and state senator Dan Brady to introduce it, I think probably the first time. And then I was a co-sponsor my first term, and every term since then I've been the primary sponsor, and it's changed a lot since then. We have come a long way, baby, as they used to say in the TV ads. I think the first time I introduced this, I think I had 4 co-sponsors. I think we have now 29 or 30 co-sponsors. That's like a third of the Ohio House. We have come a long way, baby. And back then when we first did it, we didn't have wonderful organizations like Equality Ohio to help really make a difference. And boy, have they made a real difference. What a tremendous honor it's been to work with them, and all the other groups like ProgressOhio and Stonewall and others, and great activists in the community like my friend Russ Goodwin, and so many strong advocates moving this bill forward. And it hasn't always been easy. We have come a long way, and it's taken a lot of toll and change in mindsets. I remember when we got our first Republican co-sponsor, we had John Peterson, who is a great guy, really, for one that sits on the other side of the aisle. But he is really, truly a great guy. And it took me about a year and a half to get him to co-sponsor it. He said, well, Dan, call me Danny, like we've been friends for 40 years. He said, I'm doing all these other bills with you and others, and I don't know if I can do it. And I said, John, there is no limit, there's no cap on the amount of good deeds one is allowed to do. Please, just join us. And he was a tremendous advocate for it. And then we gained Ross McGregor, who I kudos to him for doing that. And a few other now Republicans have joined us in this, and I'm proud of that. And we need to reach out to those. And I really can't emphasize enough what's been said here tonight about calling your legislators. I've said to Lynn Bowman, the director of Equality Ohio, Lynn, the closer we get, the more difficult it's going to be. It's going to get tough. And it has. There have been times where I've worried that this little break that we had, that some of the fundamentalists have been out there, working in their churches and calling people and making them nervous, those who have committed in the House Democratic Caucus to support this, and those on the Republican side. In fact, I understand that Cliff Height, a guy who stood out in committee on the Republican side and joined us and voted for it and making it more a bipartisan effort. Cliff Height, a school teacher who understands and gets it. But Cliff Height has also now gained a Republican opponent in his primary next year. So that's the concern that we have. That's why we need to even call those who have been supportive of it, to encourage them to stay with it, and to ask that it be brought up as soon as possible. We need to give them as much backbone and support as they can gather, that we can gather, so that we can offset those interested individuals who don't understand, who have hate at the forefront of their agenda. I remember reading once something that said, war, murder, rape, poverty, gay civil rights. Guess which one the fundamental extremists are protesting against? And we have that, and we saw it in committee when you saw those who testified against it. And I ask almost every witness who opposed this bill, do you think it's fair? Do you think it's right to fire somebody solely on the basis of being gay or lesbian? And they all said yes. And someone said, are you fearful of gays and lesbians. And the one woman from some kind of offshoot group said, well, only if we give them civil rights. You know, it has been said that if we give gays and lesbians civil rights, everybody will want them. Well, everybody else does have them. And it's about time Ohio joined the 21st century and make sure that all people are equal, that we all have civil rights. And that's what House Bill 176 does. It does guarantee those rights in housing and employment, and it's about time. You know, love is a wonderful, wonderful thing. To give love, to be loved, is an incredible thing. And the government and business has no right telling who we should love. I saw this quote, and I wanted to make sure that I had this right. It says, to know what you prefer, instead of humbly saying amen to what the world tells you you ought to prefer, is to keep your soul divine. And that was Robert Louis Stevenson, who reminded us that we had to be who we are. And we should not be telling people who they should love or who should love them. It is a wonderful thing. And this is a beautiful night with a full moon. And I remember Carolyn Townsend Kennedy talking recently about Senator Kennedy, who guided me in a lot of directions that I've worked on, women's rights and labor and other issues, and seeing Jupiter up there recently with the moon. And she thought it was a star, and she said, that was Teddy. That was Uncle Teddy there, you know, dancing, you know, with the moon. And he certainly guided us in these directions and understood that love and family love. And I had the opportunity, you know, tonight to give my lovely, beautiful, and brilliant fiance the ring that we finally put together. She's been wearing my grandmother's ring, and she is now also very understanding. So love is a wonderful thing. And there are no straight lines in the heart. There are only curves and bends, and that's how this world should be. But we need to act now to move forward, to make sure that House Bill 176 comes up for a vote as soon as possible. We need that encouragement to give leaders the courage to do the right thing. You have all been out here doing this work. You were here tonight with us. Go a little bit further with us. Make those calls. Make other people make those calls. Do your emails, do your Facebooks, do your Twitters. Make sure that people are calling, and call the Honorable Speaker Armand Budish, who has promised to bring this bill to the forefront. And we will do that, but we need the encouragement. I get a little nervous as we get closer that those who are on the opposite side of this, who do not understand justice and equality, will prevail if we are not vigilant. And we are here at a candlelight vigil, and now is the time to be that vigilant. Go forward, make those calls, make your friends and loved ones and partners make those calls as well, and say, we expect to see House Bill 176 come up for a vote as soon as possible, and in a friendly way, as described before. Together we can make a difference. Together we will create an equal world and an equal Ohio for all of us. Thank you very much.